No. I would say, can I explain what science is? You see, science, a lot of people, when you ask this question, it's not a trick question, what caused the universe? People say science. And I don't agree with them. You know why? Because the word science, all it means is the study of the physical world. So imagine I ask you what made your bag, and you tell me the study of the physical world. You see, it doesn't put things, it's not a rational answer. So science is basically a study.
But is religion the idea of a greater being out there? To me, is
no. I mean, if say for instance, and you ask me what caused the universe, I'll say to you, and something caused it. I wouldn't say a science caused it. Do you see? Do you see? So,
atoms exploding caused the universe.
What caused those atoms?
But what caused the God?
No, but that's a getaway. That's escape route, I would say.
Nobody knows.
Okay, so what I would say to you, atoms, if atoms were to cause the universe, anything to cause something, they need to be, they need to have certain essential attributes. Would you agree with me? At least they have to be conscious.
There has to have been something to start with.
Yeah, there has to be, but that starting thing, if it's a non-conscious matter, like rock. Rock is a matter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or an atom is it's a matter, isn't it? Yeah. If they're not conscious, can they cause something? No. Fantastic. So they need to be conscious. What else they need to have? What sort of attributes they need to be? They need to obviously have some sort of power, like a lot more power than the universe. Do you see? Would you say so?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what we're saying to you is God, particularly the Islamic view of God. I'm a Muslim, by the way. God is all-powerful being that possess these attributes to cause the universe.
Then how do you choose which God? There's lots of different gods out there.
Fantastic.
Who decides which God is the best God?
Good question.
God?
So from Islam, I'm not sure if have you read anything about Islam or Islamic beliefs?
I'm not particularly, no.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you if you don't mind. So Islam is the only religion in the world that believes in something called fitrah. Fitrah is an innate disposition. Innate disposition that we're born with to believe in God. So we believe in inherently, we're born believing God already. We're programmed to believe in God. So that's what you have within you. So you have the basic tools to believe in God, and you're born with that. And then you have all these ideologies, as you said, all these faiths, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, you name it. And we believe those ideologies can never connect with your innate disposition. You know why? Because your innate disposition tells you God is one. That's why you're agnostic and atheist, I would say. So Christianity, for instance, says God is became a baby. A rational being would say, how can a baby cause this magnificent universe? How can God die? How can God be 3 in 1? And when you ask Christians these questions, they cannot rationally explain to you, like a rational person like yourself.
But religion isn't rational.
No, we will accept Islam.
A bigger God
no, but accept Islam. I'd add a little caveat, accept Islam. And Islam, as I say to you, because you haven't read much about it, Islam goes with your intellect as well as your emotion. So Islam is convincingly has a robust argument. I think you're blocking the camera, Governor, if you don't mind. Yeah, nice one. You can stay here. So Islam is convincing in both ways, emotionally as well as rationally. So Islam has a lot of rational arguments. May I give you one of the arguments of Islam in terms of who caused the universe? So for instance, the Quran says, were they created from nothing? Or were they created from themselves? Did they create the heavens and the earth? Certainly those who believe this have no certainties. I'm just paraphrasing it. So it gives you variables of what could cause the universe. Could the universe come from nothing? What's your definition of nothing?
But But doesn't God come from nothing?
No, we say
I feel like they're both, they both got to come from something to start with.
No, we say anything that begins to exist must have a cause. The universe began to exist at one point in time, isn't it? Yeah? So therefore, scientists say the universe came to existence at one point. And scientists say the universe is expanding it. So who's expanding it? That's the question you need to ask. So, and you know the expansion, have you heard about the universe expanding? This is actually mentioned in the Quran, the holy book of the Muslims. Oh, I had a Quran, I'll give it to someone. I was going to give it to you. Bless you. What's your name, by the way? Bethlehem. I'm Noah or Noah. Bethlehem, what I would say to you is the universe, we know it began to exist at one point in time. And from Islamic point of view, we have a robust evidence that the universe began to exist and God caused it. And God is uncaused. Because if you were to say what caused God, then you'll have an infinite regression and it will never end. And that's not actually something that we can conceive of, that we can think of. The universe will never come to exist, and if God is always caused by another God, you have to have a stopping point where you say, okay, there was God always, okay? And then he brought the universe into existence. When I say he, it's a language thing. We don't believe God has a gender, by the way. Did you know that?
Everyone refers to God as he.
No, he is, like for instance, when the Queen says, we declare this, and she says we, it's a royal we. So it's just a language-wise. Yeah, but Islamically, we say God is not male or female. It's unlike any other human beings.
But if God isn't male or female, why does Islam treat women as secondary citizens?
No, that's not Islam. Islam doesn't treat women as a secondary, as a second-class citizen. This is a misconception people have. And guess what? If Islam is so oppressive to women, you know who the fastest growing religion on earth today?
Like, it might be Islam, but...
And guess what? Would you guess how many in the ratio of men and women that is reverting to Islam? We say revert. You know why we say revert?
Because you think everyone's coming back eventually.
No, we believe everyone is born being a Muslim. Yeah. So the idea of innate disposition, do you remember the fitrah? So everyone is born believing God, because that's what Islam means. Islam means submission to God. So anyone who submits to God is called a Muslim.
In the Western world, where women have more freedom of speech.
The largest, in terms of number-wise, men and female, women by large, if not triple the amount of men, revert to Islam. And guess what? 7,000 to 8,000 research shows 7,000 to 8,000 people revert every year, and majority are women. So why would a British, black or white, different ethnic background, and the study shows actually average age of 27, 25, they done 1 year or 2 years of research, so it's not out of emotion, it's because out of intellectual reasons. Muslims don't feed all these reverts rice and carrots, like, it's not emotional arguments, intellectual arguments, and people revert to Islam intellectually. And majority are women. So this idea of like Islam oppresses women actually does not exist within Islamic teaching. I tell you where it exists.
What about sort of the clothing that women have to wear and sort of the sort of teachings of the Quran in all religion, which is why I'm not religious, talks about serving your husband and serving the man, and it doesn't actually talk about...
That's more, I would say that's more of Christianity, with all respect. But going back to it, Islam does have a moral system and guidance for men and women. So in Islamically, we're ordered, Islam and tells us that a man has a certain way of dressing and women has a certain way of dressing. Like for instance, some of the dress code for men is men cannot wear golds or jewelries. Yeah? Yes? Or wear materials that are made of silk or these things, yeah? Men are not allowed to put on makeups and so on these things Islamically. Men are not also allowed to wear something that exposes between their knee and their belly button, because that's the private part of a man. So men Islamically have a dress code, and women have a dress code for men. But who determined these dress codes? Is it men ourselves? Is it human beings like other religions, or is it God? What do you think? Where did this objective morals come from? I'm asking you. Where do you think?
I'm assuming God didn't tell them how to dress.
But if there is a being that is all powerful, we believe that being has to be able to communicate with us and tell us morally what's acceptable and what's not.
See,
give us a guidance.
It's not logical if God is communicating with you.
No, but then if God created this magnificent universe and just leave it blindly, then it's like an absent father or absent parents. Imagine you're a parent. Imagine, I want to give you an example.
You could just make up that God is communicating that you need to do this.
No, with evidence. With
How
evidence.
is there evidence? Where is the evidence?
Okay. So the evidence are the last revelations within the Quran. The Quran is your evidence. I'll give you an example.
But that's the same with every book.
No, but those the books in respect of what I said to you before, in terms of other books, they say claims, but they can't evidentially prove it. We can evidence. Ali, come here, akhi. Get involved in this discussion. So what's your question? Maybe Ali can answer it better.
No.
Like in